Hello, geography students. I've been scoring a lot of quizzes and I'm seeing a lot of the same kind of problems. This may not apply to you. Some of you have been doing awesome answers and getting great scores. If you've been struggling at all on these quizzes, I'd like you to watch this one. If you want to open up your South Asia quiz, if you don't already have a good score on that one, and do it along with me, I'll help you get 100% on it. But I would like to just show you some things that you can do to make it easier. So first of all, as you open up the quiz, on the quiz instructions, reading all of those would be great, but especially the map resources you will need are in this Google Doc map resources. If you will click there, it'll open up a document that has all of the maps that are in the quiz. The one you most want for this is the physical map. And then I would make it 200% so you can have it nice and large and be able to zoom around on it. Oops, I went too far. Back to 200% works best, and then just use the bar to move around, or your mouse button should do it too. So that will show you all of the physical features that you're being quizzed on the other quiz. So it's not something that I expect you to already know those things. I want you to use the map resources to find it. This is not cheating. So if we look at the quiz, question 1 has all of the physical features. So the first one, we're going to be looking for the Himalaya mountain range, Mount Everest, the Karakoram Mountains, Khyber Pass, Gangetic Plain, Deccan Plateau, Sri Lanka, the Maldives, Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats, and the Thar Desert. So if we just know what those are and what we're looking for, let's go ahead and look for some of those. The first one it talks about is the Himalaya mountain range. So let's look at our map resources. Oh, and it's right there, the Himalaya. So we're going to be looking for something that's going along the top of the region on the quiz, which it looks like that number 4 with the red line connecting that area would be the Himalaya. So we'll go here to 4. Okay, next question is Mount Everest. And if we look over here, and I knew from my background knowledge that Mount Everest was part of the Himalayas, but here is the peak right here. That's the highest peak in the world. Let's look for one that points to a specific place there on the quiz, and here we've got 8 pointing to that area of Mount Everest. So number 2 should be 8. Number 3 is the Karakoram Mountains. Let's look back at our resources. Oh, Karakoram Range, right there above the Himalaya. So that would be number 2. And the rest of the information here is interesting information, but you don't really have to know it for the quiz. But the Karakoram Mountains in the northernmost part of South Asia, so that would have given us a clue. Meet the Himalaya and the Hindu Kush range to create a high wall of mountains between the Indian subcontinent and the rest of Asia. Okay, next we have the Khyber Pass between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Now, if you don't know where Pakistan and Afghanistan are, and if you don't see it immediately, I can see it there, but you could also refer back to the first page of this, and we can see Pakistan here, so we would know we'd be looking in that area. Afghanistan is actually over here and not labeled because it's not part of this region. So back to here, and you can see the Khyber Pass right there. Look back at our quiz. That must be number 7 where the arrow is pointing to it. So Khyber Pass is number 7. The Gangetic Plain is a fertile plain at the foot of the Himalaya formed by the region's 3 great rivers, the Ganges, the Brahmaputra, and the Indus. Well, I can see at the foot of the Himalaya, we're probably talking about number 1, but I'm going to look over here and oh, yep, the Gangetic Plain right there where the number 1 was. So let's go back here. The Gangetic Plain is number 1. The Deccan Plateau lies in the middle of the subcontinent. It was once covered with lava, so today it has rich black soil. So we're looking for something in the middle. I would guess it would be 6, but let's double check it. Oh, the Deccan Plateau right there in the middle. So back to here, and 6 is correct. Sri Lanka is a teardrop-shaped island that broke away from the original Indian landmass, and we can see a teardrop-shaped island right there, and number 9. Just for kicks, we can look over here and verify. There we have Sri Lanka. Okay, the Maldives, the southernmost country in South Asia, is a chain of tiny islands formed by coral and volcanoes. So my guess is it's going to be this number 10 because that's on the south and it's in a place where islands would be. If we look here, there we have the Maldives. So number 10 is the correct answer there. The Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats surround the Deccan Plateau. Now we already knew this was the Deccan Plateau and these look like they're surrounding it. So 3 would be that. We look here, we've got the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. So we're looking for number 3 there. And then the Thar Desert is a large arid region that forms a natural boundary between India and Pakistan. It's the world's 17th largest desert and the world's 9th largest subtropical desert. So we're looking for a desert. The only number we haven't used yet is 5. And if we look over here in that area, we see the Thar Desert. If you look on the climate map that we have down here, you can see that that is a desert in that area. So back to the quiz, and we're number 5 for that one. Okay, the next section is going to be the water features, and we can use the physical map for that as well. We're looking for the black background letters. The Ganges River flows east from the Himalaya. Now we learned about the Gangetic Plain. Let's look over here and find the Ganges River. So it looks like the Ganges River flows all the way across here. So let's see which number makes sense for that. Now it looks like it could be C or D, or both of those would be somewhere along the Ganges. Huh. Oh, the other one must just be the Ganges Delta region. Okay, so let's go with C for the Ganges. And then the Brahmaputra River is a major inland waterway. Let's look over here and find the Brahmaputra. Okay, I see it up here in Asia, and then it flows down here. It probably gave me some clues on the other thing, but let's look at the map. The B then is the Brahmaputra. The Indus River flows mainly through Pakistan, watering orchards of peaches and apples before emptying into the Arabian Sea. So we saw on the physical map that Pakistan is over here, so it's probably A. Let's verify. Yep, we have the Indus River right there. So Indus River is A. The only one left is D, and we're looking for Ganges Delta. We already saw that on the other. Okay, so Ganges Delta is D. Now, the big issue that made me want to do this, besides seeing the map resources, is a few of you are really struggling with this idea. So we have 3 maps here: the physical map, the climate map, and the population density map. The 3 questions are, where do the largest populations live in this region? So let's do that one first. I'm going to copy the questions over here and then answer the first one. So really, almost all of this area is very heavily populated, but the darkest purple, the purple area is the most populated. So if we were to describe that, I'm not looking for the name of a city. I'm looking for a description of this populated area. So because we had already looked and found out that that was the Gangetic Plain, we could use that information. I love you using terms from the map. So I would say something like the entire area, the entire region. In fact, not quite, because there are some less populated. So I'm going to say almost the entire region is densely populated. But the most populated area is the Gangetic Plain in northern India. Okay, what is there about those areas, climate and physical features that would attract more people? I'm not looking for you to go Google information or anything. I just want you to look at the maps. So what is there from these maps that tells us why people would want to live there? So if we look at this, we've got this climate zone is the humid subtropical. which would be a more mild climate than the tropical wet and tropical dry, and certainly more comfortable than the steppe and desert. So climate-wise, the humid subtropical would be good. On the physical map, seeing that it's a plain with a river flowing through the middle tells us some things too. So I would probably say, what is there about those areas? Okay, I would say the Gangetic Plain is in a humid subtropical climate zone. So the weather is mild with plenty of precipitation. Also, the Ganges River provides plenty of water for farming. Okay. And then what reasons do you see for less population in other areas? So let's look at the less populated areas. We've got some yellow up here at the top, and we've got some yellow over here. So let's look here. On this side, it's pretty easy to see that it's probably the desert that's the issue. Right here along the river, we have good population, but outside of that, we have a lot of less populated areas. And then up here, it's the highland climate zone. So that's up in the Himalaya mountains. And we know that climbing Mount Everest is a pretty challenging thing to do. So living in those areas would not be easy. So let's go ahead and include some of that information. I would say the less populated areas are either desert, the Thar Desert in the west, or highland, the Himalayas in the north. Both of these types of climates are more difficult to live in. So fewer people choose to live there. Okay, that's about the depth of thinking I'm expecting on this. I would like it to be in complete sentences like that and really have a discussion with me about it. This is like my fun when I read those, and if somebody's put some effort into a good answer, it just makes my day. I get teary when you use these geographic terms. It's so awesome. So please use this to help you get better scores on this. Go ahead and use my answers for this South Asia one, but then use the example to do better on the others. Thanks, and hope you're having a great day.